from Bloomberg.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. You spent part of your day today, I'm over here.
Oh, God, thank you.
You spent part of your day today with civil society leaders and discussed their efforts to increase human and political rights in this country. And during this trip, you've spoken about how Vietnam is a key partner as the U.S. Pursues a vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific, as you just reiterated. Freedom House, however, rates Vietnam as not free, citing increasing arrests of journalists and human rights activists, restrictions on political activism, and a lack of democracy. So my question for you is, given that Vietnam and China have very similar political systems, what makes Vietnam a key U.S. partner and China a threat to the region? And then, did you get any commitments in your meetings with government leaders to secure the release of Vietnamese dissidents or any other tangible result?
So on your last point, those issues were raised and discussed, as was the issue of human rights, both with the leaders of the Vietnamese government as well as with civil society leaders, because it is a real concern for the United States. And as I said in my opening comments, we're not going to shy away from difficult conversations. Difficult conversations often must be had with the people that you otherwise may have a partnership with. And we do have a partnership with Vietnam, in addition to concerns about human rights issues. We have a partnership as it relates to, for example, again, and I've said, the reciprocal relationship that we've had around assisting the citizens of each of our countries during this global health crisis called COVID-19. We have a relationship with Vietnam when it comes to issues that relate to our economic strength, including, for example, the concern that American farmers have about tariffs. And that is why I raised the issue of the possibility of a reduction of tariffs around American agricultural goods. So there is a lot of work to be done. There's no question about it. That is both about strengthening our nations and in particular our security concerns. And as you said, freedom of navigation is a high priority for us. It relates not only to security but also to commerce, and what we must do to continue to speak up when necessary about human rights issues. And we'll continue to do that.
Our next question will come from Tarini Parti of the Wall Street Journal. And Tarini's right over there.
Madam Vice President, you called out China this week for its bullying and aggressive maritime actions. If China continues its aggression in the region, particularly in Taiwan, what is the Biden administration prepared to do differently to deter it, given that nothing seems to be working so far? Would the administration consider significantly increasing its military presence in the South China Sea or sanctions?
Yeah. And this relates to the last question as well. When it comes to Beijing, let me be very clear, and the President has been very clear. We welcome stiff competition. We do not seek conflict. But on issues like you raised, the South China Sea, we're going to speak up. We're going to speak up when there are actions that Beijing takes that threaten the rules-based international order, again, such as activity in the South China Sea. And the issue in particular of freedom of navigation in that regard is a vital issue for this region. I spoke of it both in Singapore and here in Vietnam. And we are going to continue to do what we can to make sure that we stay committed to our partners and our allies on these important kinds of issues. But our policy is much broader than the South China Sea. And the partnership that we have here in Southeast Asia, again, and I will repeat myself, has to do with a number of issues that are about productivity and about strengthening the standing of each of our countries.
And our final question will come from Sally Bronson from NBC. Sally is right over there.
Yeah. Madam Vice President, you've been a strong advocate for women and children throughout your career. What specific options does the U.S. have to continue helping at-risk women and girls who are not part of formal U.S. programs leave Afghanistan after the August 31st deadline if they wish to do so? What will the administration do to support women who are not permitted to leave Afghanistan? The Taliban claims it will respect women's rights within Islamic law. How will the U.S. hold the Taliban accountable on this?
Yeah. Well, you are right. I have worked almost my entire career on a number of issues, but with a particular emphasis on the protection of women and children. And there's no question that any of us who are paying attention are concerned about that issue in Afghanistan. We have said before, and I will say again, that we are going to do what we are able to do in terms of the evacuation process. But in addition to that, what we are able to do politically and diplomatically to secure and to continue to work on the protection of women and children in that region, including working with our allies. And it is no secret that many of our allies are prepared to join with us in ensuring that we keep a focus on that issue in that region and do everything that we can, and to do it together as a global community.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our press conference.